You asked for a dramatic YouTube documentary-style rewrite. Here's a polished narrative version based on the transcript. Most fighters spend years building a reputation. Dakota Ditcheva built hers in 5 minutes or less. At first glance, she never looked like the most terrifying woman in mixed martial arts. She carried herself with a calm confidence, flashed an easy smile, and possessed the graceful physique of a professional dancer rather than a destroyer inside a cage. But appearances can be deceptive. Beneath that composure was a fighter who turned first rounds into crime scenes and transformed championship contenders into cautionary tales, long before the rest of the MMA world understood what was coming. Dakota was already creating a pattern. Opponents entered the cage with game plans, confidence, and bold predictions. Minutes later, they were left searching for answers that simply didn't exist. The warning signs appeared during her PFL debut in London. Fighting in front of a home crowd, Dakota faced Hosna Gaba, an aggressive opponent determined to overwhelm her with relentless pressure. Gaba charged forward, throwing wild power shots, hoping chaos would disrupt Dakota's rhythm before she could settle into the fight. It never happened. Dakota remained calm as the storm came toward her. She slipped punches with ease, landed a perfectly timed push kick to the body, and pulled Gaba into the clinch. Then came a single knee to the midsection. Just one. That was all it took. 58 seconds into her PFL career, Dakota had recorded the fastest finish of her professional career and delivered a message to the entire division. Surviving the first round against her would be far more difficult than anyone imagined. The next challenge arrived in the form of an undefeated American prospect, Catherine Corrigini. Before the fight, Corrigini spoke confidently about exposing weaknesses in Dakota's game and dragging her into deep waters. The prediction aged poorly from the opening bell. Dakota's kicks sliced through her opponent's defenses. Front kicks, crosses, clinch strikes, and relentless body attacks slowly dismantled Corrigini's confidence. When the pressure became unbearable, the American attempted to tie Dakota up and force a grappling exchange. Instead, Dakota dominated there too. She controlled the clinch. She controlled the grappling. She controlled every second of the fight. Then, just before the round ended, she landed a devastating right hand that disconnected Corrigini from reality. The undefeated prospect collapsed to the canvas. And another first-round victim was added to Dakota's growing collection. As her reputation expanded, so did the bold claims from future opponents. Sweden's Malin Hermansson entered her fight against Dakota with confidence and even mimicked Dakota's trademark pre-fight blown kiss. She insisted there was nothing intimidating about her opponent. Dakota responded in the only language she consistently spoke inside the cage. Violence. She battered Hermansson with knees, switched stances effortlessly, and turned every exchange into a painful lesson. When striking wasn't enough, Dakota showcased another layer of her game. She secured top position, transitioned smoothly to the back, and locked in a rear naked choke. The result stunned many observers. A fighter known primarily for elite Muay Thai had just submitted a skilled wrestler in the opening round. Suddenly, Dakota wasn't merely a dangerous striker. She was becoming something much worse, a complete mixed martial artist. Then came the 2024 PFL Global season. This was no longer a regional stage. The competition had become significantly tougher, and many wondered whether Dakota's astonishing streak of first-round finishes could survive against the world's elite. Lisa Malden was supposed to test that theory, known for her toughness and durability. Malden had never been stopped before. She was expected to weather the early storm and push Dakota into unfamiliar territory. Instead, she became another victim. Dakota attacked with precision. Front kicks established range. Crosses followed. Knees punished the body. Every strike landed with purpose. Eventually, another brutal body shot folded Malden in half and ended the fight before the first round could expire. Weeks later, Chelsea Hackett attempted a similar challenge. The result was identical. Dakota stalked forward behind powerful combinations and overwhelming pressure. Hackett fired back bravely, but every exchange seemed to favor Dakota. Her strikes landed harder. Her timing looked sharper. Her confidence never wavered. Another first-round knockout followed. At that point, Dakota had become one of the most feared fighters in the sport. Watching her compete felt like watching a movie that somehow reached its climax before the opening credits. Finished rolling, yet many still believed there was one style capable of solving the puzzle. Elite grappling. Yana Bishop represented that threat, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. world champion grappler, and submission specialist. Bishop entered the fight carrying the exact skill set many believed could neutralize Dakota's striking advantage for the first time in a long time. The strategy appeared to work. Bishop secured a takedown and placed Dakota on her back. For a brief moment, the crowd witnessed something they had rarely seen. Dakota Ditcheva was underneath an elite grappler. Then something remarkable happened. Instead of surviving, Dakota attacked. She threatened a triangle choke from the bottom, forcing the world-class submission expert to defend herself. Suddenly the grappler was reacting instead of controlling. Once Dakota returned to her feet, the fight shifted back into familiar territory. Knees, front kicks, clinch attacks. The punishment accumulated rapidly. Within minutes, Bishop's resistance began to fade. The woman many believed held the blueprint to defeating Dakota became just another fighter searching unsuccessfully for answers. By now, comparisons to greatness were becoming impossible to ignore. Former UFC title challenger Dan Hardy saw enough to make a bold statement. The name he invoked wasn't another prospect or champion. It was Anderson Silva. That comparison alone revealed how extraordinary Dakota's rise had become. Yet her biggest test still remained. Standing across the cage in the PFL Championship was Taila Santos, a former UFC title challenger who had gone 5 rounds with one of the greatest female fighters in history, Valentina Shevchenko. Santos possessed elite grappling, polished striking, championship experience, and enough skill to end Dakota's remarkable streak. On paper, she was the perfect final boss. The championship fight began competitively. Santos attacked Dakota's legs and attempted to slow her movement, but Dakota adapted quickly. Crisp combinations snapped Santos's head back. Front kicks disrupted her rhythm. Then came elbows, newly available under championship rules. The momentum shifted dramatically. Dakota unleashed a striking display that bordered on artistic brutality. Every kick landed with purpose. Every combination found its target. Every defensive attempt from Santos seemed one step behind. When Santos desperately reached for a takedown, Dakota stuffed it effortlessly and unleashed a barrage against the cage. Body shots, elbows, relentless pressure. The former UFC title challenger had survived 5 rounds against the best in the world. Against Dakota Ditcheva, she couldn't survive the storm. The referee stepped in, ending the fight and crowning a new champion. What happened afterward became one of the most memorable moments of Dakota's career. Before the fight, Santos had mocked her with lipstick during the promotional build-up. After securing the championship, Dakota calmly applied lipstick in the center of the cage, delivering a response more powerful than any trash talk could ever be. Then came an even more emotional moment. Her mother, former world kickboxing champion Lisa Howarth, handed her the championship belt. The woman who had taught Dakota her first knee strike when she was just 4 years old now watched her daughter become a world champion herself. At only 25 years old, Dakota Ditcheva became the youngest champion in PFL history. 14 professional fights, 14 victories. 0 defeats, a finish rate that rivals some of the most dominant champions combat sports has ever seen. She knocked out strikers. She submitted wrestlers. She dismantled grapplers. She defeated prospects, contenders, and former title challengers. Every challenge placed in front of her seemed to end the same way. Quickly. For years, women's MMA searched for its next breakout superstar. Someone capable of capturing attention beyond hardcore fans. Someone capable of bringing excitement back to the division. Dakota Ditcheva may be that fighter because she's not patiently waiting for a seat at the top of the sport. She's kicking the door down, one devastating first round at a time. If you enjoyed this story, let us know in the comments. Is Dakota Ditcheva already the most exciting fighter in women's MMA today? Can anyone stop her incredible run, or are we witnessing the rise of the next all-time great? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another fight story. Until next time, thanks for watching.